Matt Snyder of CBS Sports joins us, National Major League Baseball writer. I'll get that in English for CBS Sports. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. How are you, Matt?
I'm very, very good. How are you guys?
Not so good right now.
After last night, we're not feeling so awesome. That was just a pig of a game where, Kirby went out there, got lit up. This offense absolutely got locked down by a guy who just has not been good this year at all. Bit frustrating. I'm curious from the national viewpoint, Matt, when you look at this Mariners team, do you buy a first place team? They're sitting there by a half game now. Do you look at that and say, that's where they should be, or they've been maybe overplaying? They've been above what you expected.
Well, it's interesting because I just don't feel like I trust them. And I'm probably not alone when I'm talking to people in the Seattle area. I know you guys have been let down many times. But when I look around the rest of the division, I don't trust anybody either. So, I'm thinking in terms of, hey, do they look like a first place team right now? No, not really. But they are the worst first place team out of the 6 divisions, and somebody's going to have to win the West. So, honestly, I think almost by process of elimination, I do end up back on the Mariners right now. We can right away throw the Angels and A's out. I know the Angels got close to 5, but actually I think they did get back to 500, but then they fell back apart. But no, they're not going to stick around. I had the Rangers heading into the year, but I'm done with them. I mean, we're past Memorial Day now.
It's over.
Offense, it's been long enough. I thought heading into the year, okay, their rotation's going to be a question mark. The offense is going to be awesome again, like it was in 2023, but just like Semien looks cooked, Adolis Garcia looks cooked, Wyatt Langford's more good than great. Seager's back off the injured list, but how long until he goes back on it? I don't know. I just don't really seem like they should be trusted. So you're back to the Astros, and this year's version of the Astros just do not scare me at all. And so now I go back to the Mariners, who, when they were really hot, man, that offense looked like, okay, this is what you guys were looking for, right? Because it's that for the most part the pitching is going to be there. You have a good rotation. I mean, there are some holes in it at times, and every once in a while you get a stinker like last night. But generally speaking, the rotation is there. The bullpen for the most part is there, especially that Munoz is ridiculous right now. So I think that, I guess that's my long answer. Sorry it took too long, but I end up back to like high 80s in wins, but that's probably going to be good enough in the AL West this year.
Well, Matt, when you look around at, and our big problem this year has been, pitching and injuries, and coming back off of, the injured list. And Kirby, the guy last night, obviously he didn't have spring training or anything. But what's a realistic, as you look around the league, pitchers coming off of, because if we get that rotation back, feel pretty good, right? But
yeah, I mean, I think
how long should it take?
You can look into, I mean, it's going to be several starts. I mean, he's had 2 right now. So Spencer Strider has had 3, for example, coming off Tommy John surgery, and that's always going to be a long timetable. He started to kind of look like himself last night, but he still walked 4. But he only gave up a run, but it was only 4 2/3 innings. And that was his 3rd start back. Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins won Cy Young a few years ago. He's still a complete mess this year, completely. So sometimes you can have a lost season, but I think that you can envision still second half something like Kirby looking like an ace in the second half, for sure. And obviously then you've got Gilbert. The way Wu looks right now, you could end up having a 3-headed monster down the stretch. So I understand when you're in it and you see it on a daily basis, it might get worrisome. But I feel like long-term the outlook's still good. And you can also say, look, we've only got 2 starts from George Kirby, and his ERA is over 11 right now, and we're still in first place. That's the positive way to look at that. And by the end of the year, surely he's going to be okay.
Yeah, we want to get back to complaining about the offense, not the pitching.
Well, they gave us some good ammo from last night. I'll tell you that.
That was like the wheelhouse for years. This offense is awful. They're never going to score runs.
Well, what made it so bad was that they Trevor Williams just has flat out been bad. I mean, you look at his last 5 starts, he's been brutal. And he goes out there and just shuts them down. 3 hits over 6 innings, no walks, no runs. It was like, you got to be kidding me. But
I mean, I'm sure it's of no consolation, but he does do that every once in a while. I've learned, like, from getting into the gambling and making gambling plays, I started just staying away because every once in a while, like twice earlier this year, he only gave up 1 run in back-to-back starts, 5 innings or more. Of course, that was against the Pirates and Orioles, but still, every once in a while he comes out and does that.
Yeah, you're right. That didn't make me feel any better. But
I feel a lot better. I love it.
I believe it was his first quality start of the year. So, but looking at this offense, and they got off to such a hot start, and guys like Jorge Polanco for the month of April hit .379 with a .422 on base, slugging .662, .1284 OPS. I mean, we were all sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, this is what a healthy Polanco." And he wasn't totally healthy; he was only hitting from the left side. And then you look at May; he's hitting a .145, .221 on base, .225 slug with a .440. I mean, it is still polar opposite. So we're looking at it, and J.P. Crawford is similar, not as extreme, but very hot April, very cool May. Do you worry about it? Do you look at these guys and go, no, they're going to be fine? Or who do you have faith in? That was the question we were asking listeners. Who do you have faith in? They're going to bounce back. They're going to be fine. And who do you have concerns over?
I have faith in Cal Raleigh. Is that too obvious?
Join the club.
So look, Polanco, there's no way he was going to keep up hitting like that. It was ridiculous. When you said he was hitting like 387 and he was one of the best hitters in all of baseball, there's no way. You'd kind of like better sequencing there. Like if you looked at his numbers right now and you said if he was just more consistent with it over the course of the year, you'd be ecstatic with him. It was just he was so hot and then so cold. I still feel like there's a little more in Julio, and I know it seems like we've been waiting forever for him, but he's still on only his age 24 season.
Yeah. He's actually having a good month of May. Him and Cal are the ones that are actually hitting.
And Arozarena as well. He started a little bit slow, and the average still feels too low. The slug actually seems too low too, but some of that's ballpark suppression. Crawford, it's going to be more of an on base, and 377 on base is pretty much kind of in line with what you would think. If there's a way to break out of the up and down, they would be much better served offensively because you're right. There was a stretch where they might have been, you could have made an argument when they were, I believe it was 20-12 or something. You could have made the argument this is the best offense in baseball. And the only reason they don't straight up have the best numbers is because the home games are in T-Mobile and it's a really tough park to hit. But it's been downhill since, and that's part of why they've done a little bit of a backslide. But again, still in first place, not that tough of a division. I do think, like I said, there's a little more in Julio and Arozarena. And Polanco, there's got to be a middle ground. Like he might not ever hit again the way he did in April, but this is way, way, way too bad. There's got to be something in between there.
Hey, Logan, Matt, I was going to ask you about Logan Evans and, how he's had a couple of good outings and then, the decision of whether to go with a 6-man rotation or send him down or whatever, use him as a long reliever in the bullpen. Which do you see more often? I mean, how often do you see 6-man rotations around MLB, and what's your opinion on going that way?
Not a ton. Like a couple of years ago, the Mets employed it a lot because they didn't want Senga to go on regular rest. He was better because, coming from Japan, they only do throw once a week there, and they didn't want him to have to go up to the Major League 5. The Dodgers have done it at times because they have the depth and injuries seemingly all the time that they sometimes need to go to 6 men. It can work if you have the right personnel, and I feel like they do have the personnel. And again, we just talked about getting Kirby reacclimated to the rotation. Maybe an extra day helps him there. So I wouldn't mind to do it temporarily at all. I know there are a lot of people against it. A lot of old school people hate it. Who people a generation above me, there were only 4-man rotations back in the day then. But if you're getting good performances from everybody, because let's face it, the main reason teams can't go to 6 these days is because they don't have 6 good starting pitchers. That's it. Otherwise, they would love to do it. They would love to save bullets for October. If you have guys going well enough that you can justify having 6 in the rotation and you have aspirations to make the postseason, I actually think that it would be very, very good in short spurts. And then guys will be more fresh come September. And if the Mariners are in a dogfight with probably it's going to be the Astros, it'd be nice to have guys be a little bit more fresh by then. And like I said, maybe Kirby would benefit from the extra day. And there it seems like it could be a win-win-win. And then you can see maybe a little more of Evans in what you've got there.
Matt Snyder, national Major League Baseball writer for CBS Sports, has been our guest here with Wyman and Bob. Matt, always great to talk to you. We appreciate you cutting out some time for us and look forward to talking to you again.
Sure thing. Take care, guys.